welcome to the Campus Days, the show where we talk about the real side of college life, the stuff nobody really prepared you for. I'm Chacha, your host today, and we're getting into a topic that honestly hits close to a home for a lot of us: dating in college. Like, is it actually good for you, or does it just mess with your focus? Now, we've got four friends today who are ready to share their takes. Nata and Vivi are here to talk about why dating can actually be a genuine support system. And Faiza and Ines are going to share why it might be a more of a distraction than we think. And just so you know, this is not a debate. We're just here to have an honest conversation and hear a different perspective. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before we get into the serious stuff, I need to ask you guys something first. And I want everyone to answer this honestly. Have you ever had a crush in college and did it affect your grades?
I did have a crush in freshman year, and I will share my GPA from that semester. But honestly, having a crush made me want to show up to class even more. So mixed feelings, I guess.
For me, lucky, yes, because I had a crush on someone with the same major, and after that, I started to doing reading because I want to have something to talk about with them. So technically, my grades went up. For me, dating, well, for academic, for me, it's Faliha.
I have a story. I got crush, starting texting them during a really important lecture, missing like 3K points, and then fell a quiz the next day. So yeah, that's my answer.
For me, it's pretty simple. I had a crush on someone, spent way too much time and energy overthinking about every single interaction, and my sleeping schedule just collapsed. So yes, it affected my grades, but not in a good way.
Wow, that was a really solid perspective. Now, Faiza and Ines, you guys see it a little differently. So tell us why.
So please we generally respect when Nata and Vivi decide, and they're right that a healthy relationship can be great. But we want to talk about what actually happens for most college students, because it's not always that picture perfect. College is already a lot. You get deadline, exam, or communication, and on top of, you're still featuring yourself self. And when you bring a relationship into that without the emotion, the complication, and the effort it takes, it can unintentionally take up so much of your mental space. Most of the time, it's not even emotional, it just happens.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it can relate a lot of students. When people start dating in college, they end up spending more energy and time to think about the relationship than on themselves. Like even the small problems can affect their mood, your mood, and you can suddenly focus on your assignment or your classes. I feel like college is already stressful enough. We are still trying to figure out who we are, our future, or even our goals. So for some people, choosing to focus on themselves than being in a relationship is actually more healthier and more peaceful. And I guess our point is not that dating is bad, not at all. We just think that if our relationship start making you lose focus, lose motivation, or feel tired, emotionally tired, then maybe it becoming more a distraction than a sport.
Hi, class 1, and I want to hear from all of you on this. What's your one honest piece of advice for a college student who's thinking about getting into a relationship?
I think you have to know yourself first. If you're in a good place mentally, just go for it.
But make sure you're choosing someone who adds to your life, not the one who complicated it.
Also, make sure if you and your partner are actually in the same page about priorities. Because if one of you are super career focused and the others are actually really need for attention, it's gonna be hard.
Me personally don't start a relationship during final session, just went to big splits.
Set boundaries early for yourself and your partner. Know when to be present in the relationship and when to protect your own time. It saves a lot of stress.
From my personal advice is make sure there's someone you can be a mess in front of because college is messy and you need a person who stays anyway. And that's a wrap from today's episode of the Campus Diaries. I feel like we covered so much ground today, from icebreaker confession that were way too relatable to some genuinely thoughtful perspective on both sides. What I love about today's conversation is that there's no wrong answer here. Dating in college can be a beautiful, supportive experience. And it can also be a lot of to handle, and at the end of the day, it really comes down to you, your timing, and the person you're with. And a huge thanks to our guests today, Nata, Faiza, and Alya, for keeping it real and keeping it fun. And to everyone tuning into the Campus Diaries, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone. Bye!